This episode has been brought to you from the DGMS Studios, home of Don't Get Me Started, Lethal and Mully Live, and Surftown. Found at Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Hello and welcome to Don't Get Me Started. It's the mother of all podcasts with Keith and Lee. Hi, I'm Lee.
And I'm Keith.
Mully, can you believe it? Another year down, we're back in the studio, 2025. Hello, how are you?
Good. What about you?
I'm very well, thanks, man. I'm glad that the Christmas time's over and the New Year's Eve's over. Did Santa bring you everything you wanted?
Oh, yes, you did. I'm at a point in life where I'm enamoured with surprises or even out of my skin when I get one. So I say, look, if you are going to buy me a present, can you buy me this?
And it was a book?
It was. And it was the book I wanted.
Oh, good. Just a book.
Yeah, that'll do. If I get a book and maybe a couple of bottles of bubbly champagne, I'm happy.
Now, New Year's resolution. Did you party on?
I did. Well, very quiet.
Did you see the New Year in?
I did.
You did?
I did, yes.
I thought you'd have been long asleep by then, mate.
No, mate, I'm a veteran. You know, I know how to enjoy myself on big occasions. So, yeah, I was there. But I wasn't amongst the revelling mad masses.
You were at home?
I was at home on the balcony. It was a nice subtropical evening. So me and the missus were there with nibbles and cheese, crackers, and again, champagne, which is the only way to see the new year in.
Now, did you sing Auld Lang Syne?
No, I didn't go that far.
I've always wondered where that came from, had little thoughts about it. Have you got any ideas where that originated from?
Well, it is only an idea because I don't really know, but my thought is it's from Scotland. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's actually from a poem.
By who? Robert Burns?
Well, Robert Burns.
Well, there you go.
1788. It's the earliest form of the Scottish dialect, which was then translated into a song, which
really?
we all sing. And I looked at the actual words and we're all singing it wrong.
And the fact that Auld Lang Syne or Auld Lang Syne, has it got anything to do with New Year's Eve or the New Year at all?
It's basically let bygones be bygones.
Oh.
And forget the past.
Might that have something to do with having a New Year's resolution?
Yes.
That I'm not going to hate that woman, that guy anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to New Year. Here's my new resolution. I'm going to be nice.
And this is my thing. Now, we've spoken about this before, and New Year's resolutions drive me nuts. And when people go, what's your New Year's resolution? And I say, I haven't got one. They go, what? And I say to them, what's yours? And they go, losing weight, giving up smoking, drinking, saving more money, getting fit and healthy. Where it originated from, the New Year's resolution, is from ancient Babylon. They celebrated the New Year in March with a 12-day festival called Akitu. Now, during that time, they would make resolutions to their gods, pledge allegiance to their king, pay their debts, and this one I really like, and return borrowed items.
They should. Yeah, I
like that. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I seldom borrow things, so I'm not guilty of that. And I'm happy to lend things, but I won't lend anyone any of my books because I never get them back. So they're off limits.
Now, the other thing I was meant to have asked you, which I forgot because I was so happy to see you, because it's 2025 and we're back.
So you haven't seen me for a year.
I haven't seen you for a whole year. Because this leads me on to my next one. I know that you normally tell a joke. Have you a joke today?
No, I haven't.
You're not going to start off the new year with a joke.
I can start off with a pleasant demeanour and goodwill to all men.
Next big thing for you, a book. Mm-hmm. What's your latest book you're reading?
Oh, well, I can tell you that. I've just finished reading a book about Julius Caesar called The Assassination of Julius Caesar, written by an American guy called Michael Parenti. And it's really interesting because we all know that Caesar was killed, but, he takes a lot of the myth away and says he was murdered, brutally murdered. And he was murdered because of two things. One, that he was really popular with the people and he was bringing about land reforms, laws that were going to help the people because they were severely disadvantaged by the unjust political economic system of Rome. And the other reason is that the Romans prided themselves on being a republic, not having a king that had majesty and fancy clothes and splendour. They really did not like that. And of course, Julius Caesar took up with Cleopatra and she was just resplendent in every way. just full of pageantry and sparkle and all that.
17, 18, I think she was. That's all she was. Maybe 19.
At the time, yes. When she first met him, she was 19, I believe. Anyway, he brought her to Rome, and she had a great impact upon the women of Rome in a very positive way. But the people, the powers that be, were afraid that Caesar was getting too big for his boots and that he was wanting to become a king. So those two reasons is why they killed him.
Well, that leads me on nicely because years later, the aforementioned Julius Caesar would go on to establish Janus. Janus is obviously January.
Wait. You just asked me about the book I was reading, which I just told you, and then all of a sudden you just pulled this out of the air?
No, it was quite funny because when you said before, I thought, oh, that ties in nicely. I think. He introduced Janus. Janus is a god of doorways,
Interesting.
arches, and new beginnings. And ancient Romans would make offerings to Janus for good fortune. Again, much better than I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to get fitter. Now, I think the study that I've been looking at, there's been a few, find that 92% of adults will not follow through on a resolution.
No, of course they don't.
Then why do we have them and they don't go through it? Though there is such a thing which is called an anti-resolution, and that is a not-to-do list. So I'm not going to do any of it.
Oh, I'm an expert at that, and I don't even have to think about it. That's easy. I wake up and I think, oh, the car's got to be washed today. Nah,
Not going to do it.
not going to do it.
I love that.
So it'll wait.
Now, did you have any New Year's resolution?
I believe in all my decades of existence, I've probably tried it once.
And how successful was you?
Dismal. Wasn't successful at all. Which goes to the heart of this whole thing, which I think it's stupid because, as you said, a lot of the resolutions are too lofty for what the person can actually achieve. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to be a much better person. As if you can, it's unrealistic, I think, to be able to say that you can change just like that in some of these big issues that have had a grip on you for years simply because you say you're going to do it. It just doesn't work. Human nature is that you will be a continuation of what's ingrained into you. Of course, there are exceptions. There always are in most things. And there are some people who can say, oh, I'm going to stop. Actually, I did do a resolution one time. I used to bite my fingernails. A kid at school bullied me. He used to bully me all the time. And typically of a bullying situation, sometimes the bully is a pretty cool guy, and this guy was, and I quite liked. And he used to have a go at me because I bit my fingernails, and that really irked me. So I thought, oh, I'll show you, you friggin' buffhead. I'll stop. And I did.
And you did?
I did. So
how old were you?
Would have been about 14 or 15.
Oh, okay.
So, and I can remember that very clearly because impacted by that guy bullying me. You know, I psychologically got over it, and here I am now, veteran citizen of the world, you know, all rounded in personality, psychology and psyche, the whole deal. So I'm not scarred.
Yeah, I'm looking at your nails, mate. They're not that long, so...
Well, see, I have to keep them clipped, otherwise I would tend towards wanting to bite them again. So it's only been a strong act of the will.
So you were biting them, do you think, because you had a nervous disposition, or was it a habit where, like, I bite my nails sometimes if I'm watching a movie, I'm going,
oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a bit of a stereotypical myth or something.
No, I watched as you know, I love the movies. I watched a series over the Chrissy holidays, and it was something called Missing You, and it was such a great story. Terrible act. But it got to that point going,
really?
Bugger.
Well, I don't know if I was... I was quite shy, believe it or not, when I was really young.
Don't believe it.
When I did have to put myself forward publicly, I would be nervous. I can't recall that I would be biting my fingernails on those occasions, but I would just do it out of habit more than anything.
Right. We look into these podcasts, and I like to do some research. And I said, there's always a formula, or there's always a syndrome. There's always something attached to it. Well, this one has, and it's called the false hope syndrome. And this happens when individuals often filled with overconfidence and they set themselves unrealistic goals leading to frustration and eventually giving up altogether. False hope syndrome.
Well, I like what you said there, unrealistic goals.
Unrealistic goals.
And that's part of the downfall on this because, say, for example, you're obese and you know that you're eating too much and you say, I'm going to stop it. You've got to be really iron-willed to be able to make that drastic change when you've had years of probably indulging in your appetite you're eating. Unrealistic goals, and they dispirit you because you fail.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, I'll give up. I think goals have to be achievable and also one step at a time. Also plan. I think that's a key here too. If you're going to have a goal, say, for example, you are going to give up your overeating, then work out a plan on how that can be achieved.
But it doesn't need to take you all year on the 31st of December to go, I'm going to lose weight. You can do it any time.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
And they use this as an excuse or pump themselves up and go, yeah, I'll be doing this. And it doesn't work out for them. Then they get dispirited. And then what do, Mully? They eat more.
Yeah. They do the exact opposite to what they set out to do. But having a resolution is a good thing, really.
Ooh.
No, I think it is, because you have to be realistic with yourself. And that is one of the hardest things for us human beings to do, to look at ourselves critically and to be able to correctly identify our failings and our weaknesses. Nobody likes to be under the spotlight and say, Keith, you're not good at this. Keith, that is bad. To be able to hear it against yourself and embrace it is really, really difficult for nearly every human being, including myself. If you can have a resolution against what you can see is something in your life you need to work on and improve, then I think that's a good thing, a very good thing. Well, I was just about to admit some of my past sins.
Oh.
Gosh, that was close. I'm not going to.
No, well, I'm reluctant to go back out into the workplace because I'm going to hear Happy New Year and Happy New Year. And then, do you get any resolutions? And I go, no. And they always say, why not? And I say, because I don't, but I think it's all BS.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is that when I identified a couple of these past indulgences / sins, I realised they weren't very good for me. So I made a resolution. Well, I didn't so much make a resolution. I just thought I better stop doing that.
It's like before Christmas. Actually, I think it was August, September, maybe. I stopped drinking because I'm thinking it's not good. I obviously love to do that. The social element, it wasn't good for me. So I just stopped. So I didn't make a plan. I didn't say I'm going to give up for a week, a month. Gemma actually said it's nearly been 6 months, which is incredible. So we had a dry Christmas and it didn't really bother me. Even though you're saying about your champagne, did you have your cigar?
No.
Oh, bugger.
I'm keeping that. Actually, I've got a few cigars.
So from 1 to 2 to a few. Define a few, Mully.
4. They're just sitting there.
I hope they're in cases in there. They are. Got to
And
keep them moist, mate.
And they're semi-hidden so that little fingers and other people can't find them.
Yeah, they'll be out there, mate.
But they're going to come out at the right time. Now, going back to you not drinking, I recall you going through other periods in your life where you didn't drink. It lasted, a year? What's the longest you've been dry?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. And then why did you go back onto the drink? Sounds bad, that, doesn't it?
Yeah. How did you fall off the wagon? Well, my wife pushed me off the wagon.
Oh, God.
But it wasn't her, it was me. I decided that, I think it's time. I've done a 3.5 year and 18 months and a couple of 6 months. Once you have that first one, it's all over. I don't know whether you've seen this movie, but I would encourage you to. It's called Reuben Guthrie. It's an Australian movie and it just pinpoints alcohol to its raw point, and it's such well played out. It's incredible to watch. It reminded me of who I was, and I'm glad it's that and not alcohol, not drugs or gambling or women or a combo of all three. But I don't mind. I feel so much better, clearer, sleep better, think better, and just saved a crap load of money too.
When you were seeing the new year in, or actually going to bed waking up that the new year will have arrived when you get out of bed the next day, did you have a sense of there's a new year ahead of us, there's a new opportunity, let's start something afresh? Did you go to bed with that hope and aspiration in your breast?
Sure.
Lee?
I always do. As a child, build up to Christmas is always such a special one because for most of the year, youngest of 8, sad story, grew up in a council house, had very little, but at Christmas had everything.
So a council house for us Australian listeners and international listeners who aren't POMs, / Englishmen, a council house is what?
A rented property that you pay towards a council.
But it's your own?
No, it's a council house.
Sorry, yeah.
It's just rent.
It's owned by the authorities.
It's owned by the council.
But you can't be evicted by anybody else.
No.
So you can rent that for as long as you like.
Yeah, as long as you like.
And there's a social stigma attached to that, is there?
Well, there's a lot of I was born in the early 60s. There's just massive families on these estates. I was youngest of 8 and I knew families there, 6 and 5s, and we were the minimum. That was it. And so it was tough going.
Yeah.
But Christmas was always a fabulous time of year. But for me, yes, a new year, because there's so much that we put forward and I put forward that I want to introduce and to carry forward from 2024 in 2025. So I was glad because I held myself back from implementing it until the new year. I felt it was right to do it 2020. I hope that you're enjoying the podcasts and the content that we're bringing to you each week. I want to take a moment to invite you to support the show. Your contributions help us continue creating high-quality episodes, bringing in exciting guests and exploring the topics you love. Every bit helps. whether it's a small donation or signing up for our Patreon account. By supporting us, you're not just helping keeping the lights on, you're becoming part of our community and helping us grow. To show our appreciation, we offer exclusive perks, behind-the-scenes content, and so much more for our supporters. So if you love what we do and you want to see us thrive, please consider signing up at buzzsprout.com/don't get me started. Support the show. Thank you for being part of our journey, and let's keep the conversation going.
So you've invested something beginning in 2024, you were investing something, possibly a new direction, a new occupation or hobby that you could see that's going to grow and blossom more and come to a greater fruition in 2025.
Absolutely.
So that's what you're saying. So when you went to bed the last day of 2024, you had this great hope that what you had already invested in for the past few months of 24 was going to grow and get even better in 25.
I'm half Irish and you're probably half Irish, or maybe a quarter.
I think I'm quarter.
Quarter. I'm probably a quarter too because I've got French and English. Yeah, so a quarter. They have great tradition.
Sorry, I'm going to up that. I'm a third.
You're a third.
Third Irish.
Good on you. I'm probably a third too then.
I'm a McMullen.
What they do is they leave their doors open at midnight. And what that does, it shoos out 2024 and welcomes in
Really?
2025. And I thought that'd be great because what I wanted to do is open up all the doors, open up the garage doors and usher out 24. Come on, 2025, let's do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's only early. It's only the 6th as we're doing this podcast. And so much more has happened. And I think 2024 was a learning experience. And now it's sort of gathering speed.
See, I think that's a key feature here. You could have something to look forward to in 25 because you've invested in the groundwork and the momentum is carrying forward, and you can see that it's going to produce something even better in the coming months, which happen to be in the first part or sometime during 2025. Now, that's a very real thing to be able to hang on to, something very practical because you've invested and it's going to produce something coming forward or going forward. Whereas a resolution doesn't necessarily have some practical investment that you have put in over the past months or the past weeks leading up to New Year's Eve. It's just like, oh, well, we've got to have New Year's Eve. Oh, I'm going to stop smoking. Well, yeah, okay, good luck. Hope you do. And some people obviously would have stopped because of that. It's a fool's game, really, isn't it? Because
I don't think there's much thought that goes into it. I think it's just, I'm going to give up. I'm going to do this. And deep down, they knew that they probably wouldn't, but they thought I'd give it a go because I feel it's right for me to say. For ushering in 2025, is the groundwork has already been done. So it's an easy transition over. Now, what I think, or my resolution, that I think, this will happen and that will happen, this will go that way and this go that way. May not. And probably won't, but it will. If you aim at nothing, you're going to hit it every time.
Yeah, amen to that.
So you have to have that at the forefront to work to and become part of. Mm-hmm. And it's like a lot of people don't respect that process. They fear it. And of course, they're not going to do it because they're going to say, oh, no, that's not for me. Or no, I don't want to. I'm happy in my safe place. And where you did an excellent Surf Town episode with Richard, and where he said a couple of great things. And also one was, I don't want to be in my happy, safe place because that's where dreams go to die.
I noted that too.
And I thought,
say that again.
I don't want to be in my safe, happy place because that's where my dreams go to die. And so I love that because it should be out. And you should be following and chasing them down because they're moving forward anyway. They're just going. And the other thing he said is that wake up every morning, do stuff, and I live on this planet Earth. It's a massive planet floating in space. What does it matter anyway?
Now, just going back to New Year's Eve, another reason why I don't like these New Year's Eve resolutions is because New Year's Eve should be sitting down with family, with friends, loved ones. It's a happy occasion. Yippee, there's going to be fireworks. 10, 9, 8, 7, the countdown, bang, pop goes the champagne corks. Yay! Old lang syne, yay, kiss, hugs, happy new year, cheers, right? So it's a celebration. It's something to look forward to, like the Irish, the doors are open. 24, get out of here, had enough of you. 25, yay, come on in, man, it's going to be better. So that should be the overriding thing, not being very serious. Oh, I'm going to stop biting my fingernails, I'm such a terrible person with this dreadful dirty habit. And you're smothering this beautiful celebration with this seriousness of what you must do. Get rid of it. Have another bottle of champagne, I say.
As our younger selves, I used to go out just for the fact that I can get all these kisses and all these hugs, and I can dress myself in tinsel and not feel peculiar.
Wait. You telling me that when you were in England as a young guy on New Year's Eve, you could walk down the street after the stroke of midnight and you could kiss every girl that came?
It was the best time.
It was the same in Australia.
Best time. I loved that process of love, peace and joy.
I wonder if it's still the go.
I don't know.
Getting all those free
Nobody
kisses.
wants to kiss me anymore.
Well, I'm not going to pick that one up, but
Even a dog turns away, hey, Hazy?
I'm not going to pick that one up. I want to be kind to you, Lee, because it is 2025. I had a little thought in my head when you said that the Irish leave the doors and the windows open. If I did that at my place, because my balcony extends out into trees, the bloody possums would get in.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have dreams of not I wake up in the morning, the possum's been through the kitchen, but snake has come in as well because the branches are pretty close to the edge of the balcony, the railing. They could easily come in.
Oh, mate, yeah, we got a possum in the tree. We've got red belly blacks, brown snakes just out here. So if you want some,
I don't.
Just take them on the way out. They're yours.
No, I don't. See, the Irish didn't have to fear that.
No.
Because they didn't have snakes.
No, there's nothing. The same as New Zealand, they haven't got any snakes there, have they?
No, they haven't. Again, getting back to history, it wasn't St. Patrick that got rid of the snakes in Ireland. They just simply weren't there.
Yeah, on our last couple of things you talked about, which is great. I love that. But New Year's resolutions, and I love the party atmosphere. But now, I'm surprised, Mully, that you stayed up. Kudos to you, mate. Well done.
Well, I do like a party.
Because I'm pushing out the Zeds by, it probably would have been 9 o'clock.
So
and I didn't even hear the fireworks. I went to bed after the 9 o'clock fireworks. They have two, don't they? 9 o'clock here?
Yep, midnight. Getting back to resolution, see, here's the thing about it. You can bring them into your life anytime you like. You could do that on the 23rd of July, or the 2nd of August. You pick any day during the year. You can start your resolution. But again, you have to have achievable steps. It has to be one step at a time. It has to be towards an achievable goal. The goal should get bigger as you're putting more successes behind you. So if you're not approaching it that way, it doesn't matter what time of the year that you put down your resolution of what you want to achieve or accomplish. If you don't approach it with a plan, if you don't approach it with that step-by-step process and see little gains at a time, you'll never get there.
No, it's like a compression rate. I remember showing you before about, like for our podcast, where we have so many people that view our podcast. And then I'm just saying like 300 people that have viewed our podcast. And then it goes from this rate down to something like 24 people that actually have listened to 5 seconds, and only maybe 12 people listen to the podcast. So compression rate, same as the resolution, New Year's resolutions. I reckon you should have a maximum amount because you're going to get at least 10 of them, right? Hit it with a shotgun effect. You're going to get at least 10. Not just give up smoking, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to be better with my finances, I'm not going to be subject to a bully at work or whatever, all these ones. But have a heap of them at least. Don't just stick to one or two.
I'm not a great fan of self-help books. In fact, I actually loathe them.
The 10 steps to freedom. There's so many of them.
Oh, The Secret. Oh, geez, I wanted to scream. A friend of mine said, you have to come along and watch this documentary. This guy's going to reveal something amazing that will help your life just achieve everything that you want to do. It's called The Secret. And I sat there and watched it, and all these people were just talking about how wonderful it was, and they were selling and selling and selling it. And I'm sitting there and I'm silently screaming inside my head, for heaven's sake, what is the bloody secret? Tell me. I've been suffering for this crap for 25 minutes. Yeah. What is it? And then they said, you have to visualise and have positive thinking. Well, why don't you tell me that in the first 2 minutes?
When they come. Yeah, you get up and leave. Oprah was a massive advocate for that. Crazy. God. And it was full of BS. And the other thing was 50 Shades of Grey, another one. These come along.
50 Shades of Grey wasn't a book about self-help, Lee, did you?
Well,
why did you mention that?
A lot of women thought so.
Did they? Really?
Yes, of course. A lot of marriages hit the rock. And they went out and, this is what I want. And then they realised that the grass isn't greener.
Look, we could digress on this, and I'm very happy to have another episode on 50 Shades of Grey. But let's stay with self-help books.
Self-help.
So there's one book, I think it's the 7...
Key Habits of Success or something like that.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty good.
Right.
apparently there are some good principles in there that do highlight habits of successful people. Now, I have a friend who's very, very successful, and he's perhaps a little bit anal, but he has every single day mapped out. If it's Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning, he knows exactly where he will be and what he will be doing. Now, he's a little bit too extreme for my taste, but what I note about him is that he is very successful in what he does and what he wants to achieve. And if I was to ask him about New Year's resolution, he would just, what are you talking about? I hit my goals all the time. And that's because he maps it out, he plans it, and he goes for it. So I think there are some successful habits to be able to achieve what you want to, which makes in the middle of the night when you probably had too much to drink and you're in a party atmosphere and you're saying, oh, my resolution this year is going to be a good one. I'm going to be a better person. Well, stop it. Save your breath and have another glass of drink. Enjoy the night.
And go home.
Yes, go home, and wake up.
You're drunk.
Yeah. Don't talk crap to me. You've never been a good person and you never will. In fact, I'm not inviting you here again. Piss off.
Off you go. Jog on. On your bar. I know, mate. Well, anyway, Mully, as this podcast has now come to an end. And 2025, Happy New Year, mate. The first of many. I'll leave the last word to you.
Well, it's been a pleasure. It's great to see you again, mate. You're sober. New Year's Eve seems to have agreed with you. Your skin is radiant. You're looking...
Oh, stop it, mate.
You're looking very healthy over there, whereas I believe I might have somewhat bleary red eyes, but I can live with it. Great to be here, mate. Great to share the coming year with you and all that it brings for us and everybody else. So good on you, mate, and all the best. So until we talk again, it's hooroo from me.
And I'd like to wish all our listeners a Happy New Year, and it's goodbye from me.